Okay, are you ready for some Mickey Mouse?
So, um, what we're going to do here is we're going to test the waters a little bit. Somebody else posted Steamboat Willie just to post it and monetize. I'm going to do something a little different. There's a 14-year-old posting of this. So I wanted to honor the older video. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit throughout this. This is basically Steamboat Willie commentary. I'm going to commentate while I'm watching this, and I expect two. I do not expect two things. One, because based on Cartoon All Stars to the Rescue and Spider-Man Lotus, you remember those, right? I do not expect any copyright claims, strikes, or block. Those things cannot happen. I think Vinny Vinesauce was trying to, like monetize it, but I think the problem was, I could be wrong. I think the problem was that he had just done it after New York time, but it was still December 31st in Los Angeles and Hawaii, so the YouTube algorithms was not going to recognize that as public domain copyright claims. Okay, so because of this, Vinny kind of got fingered about it. So it is now January 2nd. It's January 3rd in the East Coast. So it's January 4th in Japan, right? I think. Maybe it is. I don't know. Time is very funny. Time travel is very funny when it comes to spinning around the Earth. Superman would know. We'll talk a little bit about Superman, but we'll talk a little bit about the Star Wars incident with the women, and we'll talk about Disney. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. We'll talk about Mickey Mouse. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. And I lowered the volume a little bit so that I can talk and you can hear me talking. So this is Steamboat Willie plus Maestro Drake commentary. Okay, so are you ready? Is everyone ready? Is everyone set? It's like George Lucas looking around like, when he was showing the Phantom Menace. Here we go. Now, I first saw this at my animation class back in 2001 or so. This is the first appearance of Mickey Mouse. But also, Playing Crazy was actually the first time that Walt Disney drew them. And, of course, this is the inspiration for Steamboat Itchy. Right? There is Mickey the way he first appears. Now, should he always have the hat on? I don't know. So, yeah, that's the way he first appeared. He didn't have the voice yet. So I think Disney could argue that you can't use the Mickey Mouse voice since he didn't really talk. The first time I remember him speaking was at Mickey Mouse. There was a carnival cartoon back in 1930 or whatever. Now, that's the second time you see Pete. The first time was Alice Solves the Puzzle, and that was a Universal cartoon. I think Universal owns that. Yeah, that's Pete's voice. Not the Jim Cummings, oh, okay. Yes, Mickey, what are you going to do? Right? That's that kind of voice. There's only so many voices I could do.
Grandtilda.
Right? And I think I remember Oob Iwerks. UB, first name is UB, and then Iwerks, last name. And he was one of the animators for the original Mickey Mouse cartoons. And then his granddaughter came to visit one of the animation classes I attended at Cal State University, Los Angeles. So, yeah, this is the second time we see Pete. But this is the first time Pete's appeared in a Disney cartoon. So not only is Mickey Mouse, this version of Mickey public domain, but also Pete. And I don't know about me. I think Minnie too, right? It's got to be Minnie. And all these animals you see here. And this Mickey was like abusive to the animals. Oh, he abused the animals, right? He grabbed the chicken, grabbed the cow by the tail. He was mean-spirited. Now, you kind of wonder what I think, because I think Walt Disney owns the studios owns the original, the 35 millimeter masters. Is it 35 millimeters? They own the original negatives, so the original negatives go to them, right? I think it's the same deal with the Fleischer Superman cartoons, which I may do a commentary next time. Because the Fleischer Superman cartoons are in the public domain because they were owned by Paramount. And so you can only you can't do merchandising. You can't do merchandising or anything on those cartoons, but you can show them and commentate, which I may do. I may do that. We'll see. Yeah, that's Minnie. So that Minnie is public domain. Minnie, Mickey, and Pete these versions are all public domain now. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't really talk. This was right before Popeye, Olive Oil, and Bluto, and decades before Mario, Donkey Kong, and Pauline, or Mario, Princess Peach, and Bowser. There was always the hero, right? And then there was the pretty girl, and then look at that fucking goat. And then there was always the big bad bruiser. So before all that was Mickey, Minnie, and Pete. Pete was like Bowser, right? Eating everything in sight. Yeah. I've heard about what happened with Star Wars, how men should be afraid of women. They're starting up again with the Force is female. Keep in mind, I think, sometimes Geeks and Gamers does a lot of they do some grifting, but I think they were right. They pointed out that Walt Disney Studios, they're in a lawsuit over not paying women equal pay. So they're in a lawsuit for not paying women equally as men. And you're going to go on about this stuff. Treat every guy like Harvey Weinstein. Go fuck yourselves. You're not helping anybody. I think Charles Parato was like, he defended Disney's, Disney didn't ruin Star Wars. Oh, that's not going to get you very popular. You can like the Disney movies. I like Rogue One and I like Star Wars Rebels. And maybe the last season or last episodes of Clone Wars, but I just stopped caring. You know what I mean? I don't give a shit. And, you can not like something, but when you have the director calling people on Twitter man babies and Kathleen Kennedy with her shitty attitude, and even George Lucas saying white slavers, there's problems with Disney. They have to shape up. Yeah. This is the stuff Mickey used to do. Not anymore. I think in a way, because wasn't Mickey Mouse based on blackface caricatures, you had Felix the Cat, Bosco and Honey, that's Warner Brothers, and then Mickey and Minnie, that's from Playing Crazy. That's making fun of black people with the faces. So in a way, this is a good idea for them to kind of be relieved of the burden. However, what are they going to do now? Are they going to write the real Ghostbusters, right? The real Steamboat Willie? Remember, it was called The Real Ghostbusters because there was the Ghostbusters cartoon by Filmation. So Deke had to make the real Ghostbusters. That was based on the movies. And I'm going to have some final words after this is over. Yeah, this is so memorable. Bugs Bunny, his first appearance was in Wild Hare. I'm trying to think. Daffy Duck and Porky Pig are older than Bugs Bunny, but I don't know when they go into public domain in a few years. Superman will. Their first appearance was Superman. Popeye is supposed to be next. Popeye is next. That's how he sounds. And Mickey Mouse didn't have a real voice. But there was one episode, 1930s, where he went to a carnival and he said, hot dogs, hot dogs. That's all he sounded like. Boom, that's it. Throw him out. That's the only time you hear his voice, other than the whistling. So yeah, there we go. We got. What do we got? Police. There's fire department out there. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of that. Let me go ahead and switch on my night light. So yeah, that was a fun little cartoon. I hope you all enjoyed that. Mickey's come a long way, so obviously the later Mickey Mouse is the ones that are still protected. Um, and I talked about Superman in a short, one of these YouTube shorts. I talked about Superman being in the public domain in 2033, which I think, even though Jerry Siegel kind of got pissed off about Superboy being kind of stolen from him, I think this, to me, 2033, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not Jerry Siegel or the family, that is kind of poetic justice at the end of the whole lawsuit deal that they had. So, and look who's here. Look who's been here the whole time. And so, I mean, they could do anything they want to do now. Like in about 9 years, the Jerry Siegel family could probably tell their own Superman stories again. We'll see how that goes. It would be interesting to see, Mickey Mouse and maybe Superman, right? To have Mickey Mouse and Superman in a story together, or maybe Steamboat Willie,
And Donkey.
right? Maybe that could happen. You could have a number of things. You could have Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse team up with Crypto and Scooby Doo. You could have them team up with He Man. How about Steamboat Willie show up in Eternia, or even team up with the Ninja Turtles and Garfield, or even Mario? Because remember, Mario is kind of based on Mickey Mouse, isn't he? Isn't he based on Mickey Mouse? You know, right? I got the hat over here, in case you're wondering. The hat just kind of flies off. But yeah, you could have this happen. Why can't you have this happen? Right? Because after all, Nintendo has worked with Mickey Mouse. Now you could do a version of this, and you don't have to pay Disney shit. They got their lawsuits going on. They don't need that. You could have Batman and Mickey Mouse, right? Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck was Mr. Mxyzptlk, like the Superman villain, right? You could have a lot of things going on with this. I mean, there's so many possibilities. Now, there was this. They're doing a horror movie. They did a horror movie with Winnie the Pooh. Okay. Now, my plan is to make Mickey and Pete robots, which kind of fits with the whole Five Nights at Freddy's. But I don't want to do horror. I want to keep them the way they were, but have them mixed with my characters, so I don't have to pay Disney shit and get sued. So that's what I want to do. So as far as that goes, that's what I would like. What other characters? I mean, there's so many things. I mean, Shy Guy, not the Disney, that doesn't count. Oh, how about Amy Rose finds love in the Archie comics with Mickey? Like, she couldn't get Sonic, but now she can get Mickey Mouse. That's her boyfriend. And Minnie Mouse is forgotten in the annals of time, or Sonic dates Minnie Mouse, right, from the 1928. So there's so many things. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna do a short about my stories outlined so far. Yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully there's not a clever way to extend. Because remember, they extended the deadline for Mickey Mouse. It was supposed to be a couple of years earlier, but they extended the deadline, and now it's too late for them. Now they're in deep shit. So yeah, Disney, you don't have the right to treat everybody like Harvey Weinstein. You don't have the right to treat every white dude like they're trash, because a white dude does run your company. It's the way it is. All right. Woohoo! And I could do Diddy, but I can't do Mickey. My voice is too deep for that. We'd have to speed it up. So wave, Mickey. And what are we going to be doing next time? We're gonna do horror slasher. I don't know, something. My audience will tell me what Mickey should be doing. It's not horror. That's too easy. Everybody just wants to do shock. I want to do something else.